I got a whiff of this bad odor, and whoa. And I happened to just look up and I noticed on my four-wheeler. I mean, this thing was standing there looking at me. Looked at me, and I looked at it, and, it seemed like it was for a long time. It sniffed the air, looked at me, looked around, sniffed, and grunted, and started off down the ridge.
This is the Cryptid Creature Show. I am Brian, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Todd. What's up, buddy?
Tonight's guest is Thomas, and Thomas had some Bigfoot encounters in the good old state of Kentucky.
Oh, Kentucky.
So we're going to bring him on and see what's going on with him. I know he's had
our neighbors to the south.
So there's a lot of stuff going on in Kentucky,
There is.
Let's bring Thomas on and see what he has to say. What do you think?
Yep, let's get him. Thomas, how you doing?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Good. Good to have you.
Yeah, good to be here, really.
Hey, Thomas, thanks for being here with us tonight, man.
Thank you.
I don't know where you want to start. I know you've had some Bigfoot encounters, and you also have a Facebook group page. You want to talk about that before we get going?
The Facebook page or the encounters?
Well, either or. You can talk about whatever you'd like.
Yeah, I have a group. It's called Northern Kentucky Bigfoot Research Group. We're on Facebook. You can look us up. The reason why I call it a group is we're not an organization. I might be the leader of it, but everybody has an opinion, has a take in it. It's as a group effort. It's not just me, So that's why I called it a group. My encounters, my first one was back in 1987, October. I was home on leave from the Army, seeing my parents, and I had a girlfriend that called me up and asked me if I want to come up and we'll go out and do something. I said, sure. I said, give me a couple hours and get all cleaned up and everything. So I did, and I was going up U.S. Highway 36, which is what you call the river road along the Ohio River. And as I was driving, I noticed this person was standing on the side of the road. This guy, there was one of these Indian falls, October is warm, it's sunny. And I was trying to figure out, why does this gentleman have a coat on? It's like almost 80 degrees here. It's in October. And we just had some weather like that here just about a week ago. And as I passed by, I looked out my passenger window and I couldn't understand what I was seeing. I was seeing this hairy thing. It looked like a man, but covered all in hair. And it was standing, I don't know, maybe a little over 6 foot, maybe 7 at the time. Honestly, and I think I've told it before, that I really wasn't paying attention to how big it was or anything, because I was in awe. Because I grew up, this thing wasn't supposed to exist. Nothing like this was supposed to exist in the world. So I went up, turned around, and come back, and parked the car on the side of the road. And actually, it had crossed the road, and I followed it down on the riverbank. There was a field there by the river. And I was behind it, not too far behind it, and it turned around on me and it yelled at me, or screamed at me. And at that time there, I thought, well, it's time to go back to the car. I found out how scared I could get. I got back to the house, and my parents asked me, you going up to see your girlfriend? No. And I told them what I saw, and my mom goes, you been drinking? I said, Mom, I just left the house. So I was still sitting in the room. My dad said, are you still not going up? I said, no, I'm staying here. In all, I just didn't know what I saw. And from then on, every little piece of information I could get, I just tried to digest, to figure out what I saw. And I started doing this, reaching out on my own to find out what this thing was. In 2014, I was in an area where a gentleman told me he saw a bear back here standing on its hind legs. And we don't have bear in this area. Every once in a while, we might have one come in, maybe every 10 or 15 years, we'll have one cross through here. And I said, bear? I said, you don't mind if I go back and look? He goes, no, go ahead. It was actually right across the road from my farm. And I'm driving the four-wheeler down the access road. Now there's a logging road. And I'm looking for prints or anything that crossed the road, and I found these prints, and they were fresh. They were really good prints. I get down and start documenting everything, and before I can start casting, and I carry a handgun. And I put my handgun on my four-wheeler because it gets in the way when you're down here on your hands and knees trying to measure and mix plaster and stuff, And while I was down there doing this, and I got a whiff of this bad odor, and whoa, somebody's septic tank around here somewhere is overflowed. And I happened to just look up, and on the other side of my four-wheeler, I mean, there's not going to be like 40 feet. This thing was standing there looking at me. And I just looked at me, and I looked at it, and, large, hairy. And it seemed like it was for a long time. At this time here, I was trying to figure out if I was going to have to go for my gun or what. And I didn't. I just sit there, and it sniffed the air, looked at me, looked around, sniffed, and grunted, and started off down the ridge. And at that time there, I tried to follow it with my cell phone. I had a flip phone my wife got me. I'm pretty rough on phones in the woods. And I'm excited. This thing's standing there, and it's walking off, and I'm filming it, and I'm not paying attention to the phone. But actually, it dropped off back behind the ridge and disappeared, and I dropped everything. I left everything there, got on my four-wheeler, went back over to my home, went inside, and my wife was there, and she goes, "You got something on film, didn't you?" Because I had my phone in, I was getting ready to look it up. I said, "Yeah, I did." So as I was downloading it, in the confusion, I had actually reversed the camera angle, and I was filming myself. And that really hurt me. But then we have had numerous other occasions, in my group. I've had my own people in my own group have witnessed encounters while we were there on site and everything. So
let's go back to your first encounter. What made you follow this man or person or thing?
Well, when I was growing up, I was taught that things like this doesn't exist in the world. There's no such thing as monsters. And, I had to figure out for myself what I was seeing. Was this a man in a suit? Or what was it? Because, I've never witnessed anything like this. That's the reason why.
So how close did you get to it, and what did you see? Can you describe its face?
Yeah, I got a good look at that. No, I actually made a sketch of it right after that happened. I sketched it out, the face and everything, and it was more man-like in the face. And actually, the sketch is actually the original sketch is in Cliff Barrickman's museum.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Still have a picture of it yourself that you could send us to make sure?
Yeah, I'll send you a picture of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it looked more human than animal, you say?
Yes, it wasn't ape-like. No. No, it wasn't ape-like. It had the flat nose. It didn't have the primate nose.
How tall was it?
After the initial sighting and everything, I had one of my buddies. We went back and we measured from where I was kneeling at and where I had actually saw its head against a branch that was behind it, and we measured it that way there. It was a little over 9 foot. I had the actual height and everything written down.
So talk about your investigations and what else you guys have done with your group.
Well, we done a lot of stuff. We don't go out there. We do everything on private property. We don't go out there and beat on trees. We don't go out there and do walks and everything like that. Here recently, I just found out that a crow, which is not nocturnal, but can be nocturnal, if it's disturbed at nighttime, that they can mimic anything they hear. And there's video of them actually making a would not sound. We have done EMF stuff, which is really, I'm working really good at that because there's a correlation with EMF. If y'all ever heard the thing that they follow the power lines because it's easy access, but a lot of people don't understand that big power line, those power lines put out an EMF pulse. So one day I figured out, well, why don't I just try to do something with an EMF meter box and see what would happen. And in my amazement, we've actually had animals that would come up and investigate when we were using this. And we've had encounters while using this. And we recorded night vision. We have night vision software that we can actually record. And we actually recorded these things while using this. So I'm still working with. I haven't figured out what it was for, yet. But it was some type of directional thing. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
We kind of think that they travel the rivers and streams as well to keep hidden a little bit. But back to what you were saying, do you think there's a paranormal side to these creatures? What's your thoughts about that?
In all my time of research, I've never really had anything that dealt with paranormal with the Bigfoot. Now, I'm also saying that we've had some interesting things happening in the woods that was not associated with Bigfoot. Some strange occurrences. But as far as it being Bigfoot, what related is paranormal, no. So far, in all my research, it's a flesh and blood creature. But I haven't ruled out a lot of stuff, but I just don't have the evidence. Well, how are you going to justify it being paranormal? What type of evidence are we going to have to say it's paranormal?
I say that only because people have talked about the cloaking, how the footprints just kind of stop out of nowhere in the middle of a field in snow, how they've seen a lot of orbs around these creatures when they see these creatures or before or after they see these creatures, and then how they get, and this is probably not paranormal, but how they can do that humming noise where they kind of can put you in a trance or whatever they call that.
Being
zapped or whatever, there's different words for it. So that's why I say that. And that could be natural stuff that we're just not used to if we don't know this creature. But I guess my question to you at this point is, how do you think they stay hidden so well? Is it just the fact that they stay so deep in these woods that people just don't go to? And they're able to do that? I mean, people say, there's thousands of acres of land, but it's overpopulated. There's woods that people just don't step places in, right? All over the country.
Mm-hmm. I've been in places that I know man hasn't stepped in for 50, 60 years. There's some places here in Kentucky I have actually been in and found no trace of where humans had been. Maybe at one time, years and years ago. But as far as you're talking about footprints disappearing, now, and all the videos I've ever seen, I have never seen anybody ever video footprints disappearing the trackway. So, I have come up with, I'm a tracker, and I have, followed trackways and I have lost tracks. But that's explained because the substrate sometimes will not even give in certain places. One gentleman asked me, well, they saw footprints going into a river or a pond or something like that, and they disappeared, or a lake or something like that. I said, the simple fact is like that. I said, if you sit there and you watch these footprints, over time, you walk out there and there's a silt with the waves coming in and the water, rising and lowering. The silt actually fills back in. So, there's a lot of things that explain why footprints disappear. In snow, I followed this one trackway in snow and lost it, but picked it up again. It comes to find out that it was using fallen lumber that had been deadfall that had fallen, and it was using that to scoot around on. Trust me, I mean, any animal out there, if you're tracking something like that and it knows you're chasing it or whatever, it's going to find a way to hide, to evade. And as these things, being, as we think, partially human, they're going to act just like we do.
So for somebody who hasn't seen Bigfoot, and maybe who's looking for Bigfoot, and after hearing what we've heard, hearing what you've said, do you think that we would still be in shock or appalled or scared, whatever, if we still saw one, even if it was 50 yards away?
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna be in awe because you haven't seen anything like this. You only heard stories. But when you see something, your mind is actually going to tell you, am I actually seeing this? Is this real? You're going to be in awe, and then the reality is going to hit you.
Do you think they're scary looking? Would someone say that?
Yeah.
Or just different looking?
Well, the first time I saw it, I was in awe. I didn't understand what I was seeing, and I had to find out. And that's my nature. But there's other people out there, if they see something like this, they would actually freak out. So, it depends on the person, how they're going to react. Not everybody deals with trauma like, all of us. Some of us deal with it differently. And seeing these things, there's a trauma. It's going to be a shock to your system. So, you really don't know how you're going to respond.
Meet the computer you can talk to. With Copilot on Windows, working, creating, and collaborating is as easy as talking. Got writer's block? Share your screen with Copilot Vision to help spark inspiration. And use Copilot Voice to have a conversation and brainstorm ideas. Or maybe you need some tech help. With Copilot Vision, Copilot sees what you see. Let Copilot talk you through step-by-step guidance so you can master new apps, games, and skills faster. Try now at windows.com/Copilot.
The Who's Down in Who Newville were making their list, but some didn't know Walmart has the best brands for their gifts.
What about toys? Do they have brands kids have been wanting all year?
Yep, Barbie, Tony's, and Lego. Gifts that will make them all cheer.
Do you mean they have all the brands I adore?
They have Nintendo, Nespresso, Apple, and more.
What about...
So the Who answered questions from friends till they were blue. Each one listened and shouted, from Walmart? Who knew? Shop gifts from top brands for everyone on your list in the Walmart app.
Do you think it's a shock to your system because we're not told about these creatures and we don't know that they exist? Or even if we knew these creatures existed, but we didn't see them in zoos, if we saw one in the wild, would it still be like that? Would it still be an amazing... I guess my question is, if people knew that they existed and they saw them, then they saw them in the wilderness, not in zoos, would they still be as surprised, do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the first time you see your first bear, we all know there's bears out there. First time you see your bear in the woods, what's your first reaction? You're gonna freak out. You're gonna be scared because you don't know what's gonna happen. And as far as being hid and stuff like that, I have talked to more people that have seen these creatures closer to human habitation, closer into subdivisions, trailer parks at night. Rummaging through garbage cans and dumpsters. So, they're actually evolving. They're getting closer. They're getting closer to human habitat. So, eventually they're going to be found out.
So you don't think it's a matter of us intruding on their area. It's them being more curious and coming down into our area and checking us out because they can do that. Mm-hmm. They have the ability and time to do that. They don't hold 9-to-5 jobs, or 9-to-5 doesn't exist anymore. 7 to 4, 8 to 5, whatever. They don't have that going on, so they have the time, and they can come out at night and spy on us. Like I said before, I've said it before in the show. They know way more about us than we know about them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they come into our areas and they want to go through our dumpsters and find I guarantee you, if there's a McDonald's out there that's close to a wood line, that dumpster's getting raided every night. But I think that's how it is. I think they come down. A lot of Bigfoot sightings are more closer to towns and areas that are just outside of town than they are way up in the mountains, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
More these days. So sometimes, I think I need to go out to Oregon and get way up in the hills, but maybe I don't.
No, in all actuality, you really don't. Everybody thinks, well, I got to drive all the way out here to the state park, in the wilderness and stuff. In all actuality, if you live in a rural area like I do, just sit out in your backyard. Go drive down an old country road, real slow, Around here, we got these one-lane roads that are in the farmlands, and drive down, stop a little bit, scan at nighttime. I would suggest you go into your local law enforcement office, like your sheriff's or something like that, and tell them, hey, I'm going to be riding around, and anybody calls me, I'm just doing this, so that there isn't any problems with the law. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to go in these big groups and pay us big money. Get you a couple of friends, go out to us. If you want to do something in the state park, go do something in the state park. Of course, there might be something in there beating on trees, or might be something there screaming. But also, too, like around here, and I know in Indiana, you have like 4 or 5 groups in one state park. And you got one over here on this ridge over here beating on a tree, and you got this other group over here doing whoops and yells. And you're sitting down here in this valley, and you're trying to figure out, okay, I hear this. Is that so-and-so over there, or is this a real one? So, all my stuff is done on private property. These people have seen something and ask me to come out and investigate. And then I go out, and if I find some type of evidence, such as footprints, a trackway, we found hair, which met the Fahrenheit gold standard. And we work these properties. And we don't work them all the time. You got to understand, you cannot stress an area. You want to go in a couple of times, in the spring, a couple of times maybe during the summer, a couple of times in the fall, a couple of times in the winter. If you do it a whole bunch of times, every weekend, and you bring in big groups of people, the area gets stressed out. And when you stress area out, one thing is you destroy vegetation, you've destroyed food, breeding areas. Some of the wildlife itself will actually move out. So when the wildlife moves out, you got a food source that moves out. So these creatures will move out too. So the area is stressed. So you got to be careful about that. You can do all this yourself. You don't have to have all this big $1,000 equipment and stuff like that. And my first parabolic was a homemade parabolic with a Rubbermaid trash can top and a microphone on the inside. And that was my first parabolic. And I had one researcher who spent, I don't know how much money on a parabolic. And he listened to this and he couldn't believe how good it was. It was better than his. So, you can do it yourself, equipment. I know I'm rambling, but.
No, you're good, man. What about, I wanted to ask.
Yeah, that's a lot of good information. Thank you.
What about Dogman? Have you had any sightings around your area have you heard anything about Dogman, or what's your thoughts about that?
I've had some reports, but I had nothing ever to confirm it. I have found no prints, nothing. They say it looked canine, and then, as we know, witnesses can't be 100%. In a fleeting second, I mean, like somebody like me, I seen one. Okay. The first time I saw it, I'm going to tell you, I mean, I can't really give you a good description of it. I wasn't really paying attention about all the wrinkles and the hair and stuff. I just seen this thing and I was trying to figure it out. Now, the second time, And the third time, yeah, I got more detail in it. I mean, I got, I had to learn these things, But no, I have not found anything like a dog man. And trust me, if there was a print out there that looked like a dog man's print, I'd find it. So some of the people that go out with me when I'm in an area looking for evidence, they really don't like going out with me because I will spend all day in an area. Yeah, I probably won't even move maybe 100 yards until I find in that area where this thing was seen. I had to find something. And if I don't, then I chalk it up as, maybe they saw a shadow, maybe. But no. The same with the goat man. I mean, for real. I mean, you got something running around out there with goat horns and hooves.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. I saw something on Monsters and Mysteries in America. Did a thing on the goat man in Kentucky. Is that thing real? What are people seeing there?
I really don't know. They're seeing something it's walking around like it's got a goat's head and got hooves and man, it's just a local legend that came out. And honestly, I went out to that area, several times. I've never had anything chase me, or I've never had any type of encounter or nothing. So,
Do you think people are just making stuff up or just seeing Bigfoot and thinking it was something else?
Probably. I mean, here's an example. Somebody told me one time, came to me and said, I seen this thing standing right over there by that wood pile. And it's about 100 yards away. I said, okay. I said, did you go over there and look and find any footprints? He goes, no. He goes, I know what I saw. To me, if you don't have evidence, it's just a story. So that's the way I see it. You can tell me everything you want, but I have to find something. It's been around here a long time. There's several different versions of the story. There's just a local legend that folklore that come around. The area gets good publicity and people make money on it. So that's all I can say.
Thomas, you've seen the Patterson film, right?
Yeah.
You think it's real?
Yep.
Based on what you've seen before?
Yep.
So do I. I think Brian does too, right, Brian?
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, they're right. I mean, special effects didn't have the means to make a suit like that. So realistic.
Yeah, not back then. No.
Well, they talked about how, the best they could do was Planet of the Apes, right? So did what you see look like a Patterson Gimlin film, or was it different?
It was different. Now this is the odd thing is everything that's usually out west of us, in the Pacific Northwest, has short black hair. Everything here in the southern part of the states is more have long reddish brown hair. And it's not well kept like, the Patterson Gimlin film. You didn't see no leaf debris in it or nothing like that. It looked like it was really, really groomed well. But the ones you see here in the South, the hair is matted. It's got the, leaf debris in it. They're dirty looking, like something that would actually live in the woods.
Yeah, we've heard that too. The more southern ones are amber colored or...
Yeah, we have a gray one here.
Yeah, with the longer, stringier hair.
You have a gray one. You seen a gray one too?
Yeah, we got a big gray one here.
Tell us about that.
Several people saw it. I got a glimpse of it back in 2017, I believe. About 2017, well, 2018 probably. It was standing on the ridge, and it was great. It was huge. And from what I could see, and it shambled off. But we was way down in a valley, and it was way up on top of the ridge. I don't know if you ever been to Kentucky about some of our ridges down here, they're really steep, and we just wasn't capable of getting up this long, big old hill up on this ridge to get any evidence. But we did see something up there. It was silver. A lot of other people saw the gray one too. It stands about 7.5, 8 foot. There's a couple of people that saw one not too long ago. Looked like it had mange. It wasn't really, broad, like muscular and stuff like that. It seemed like it was kind of malnourished, and some of the hair was missing on it. Small in stature,
Yeah, that's possible. I mean, there could be Bigfoot that are starving or dying of whatever, humans or some kind of animal are. You never know.
Yeah.
Well, Thomas, we want to thank you so much for being on the show tonight, man. Great talking with you.
Yeah, Eddie. Thank you for being on here.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, it's our pleasure.
Love hearing your encounters.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll send you that sketch too.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, do that, man. Send us that sketch and we'll post it on our group page. We always do this, and I get so many emails or texts from our messages from our listeners. Hey, you never posted those pictures, so I'll make sure I do that this time.
Yeah.
But yeah. Thanks for being on tonight, Thomas. And if you're out there and you see more stuff and see a Bigfoot, get a hold of us, man.
Yeah. Stay in touch.
Come back.
All right.
Sure.
So thank you for having me tonight.
Yeah, it's our pleasure, Thomas. Thank you.
Tell you what, we hear these encounters. At this point, I'm way more convinced that Bigfoot exists than before we started this.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, it was awesome having Thomas on and talking to him about his encounters. So, yeah.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Kentucky's a hot spot for sure.
Yeah, that's always fun. It's like Kentucky, Ohio. It's a lot of stuff happening over here in this side of the country.
Absolutely, man. So again, if you guys have had an encounter, or if you know somebody who's had an encounter, reach out to us. Brian, what's that email, man?
info@crypticreatures.co.
That's right. So thanks again, everybody, for listening. Brian, my friend, it was awesome hanging out with you, brother.
Always fun, brother. Always learning.
All right. You ready to take off?
Yep. See ya.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything, from the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
At Blinds.com, it's not just about window treatments. It's about you, your style, your space, your way. Whether you DIY or want the pros to handle it all, you'll have the confidence of knowing it's done right. From free expert design help to our 100% satisfaction guarantee, everything we do is made to fit your life and your windows. Because at Blinds.com, the only thing we treat better than windows is you.
Black Friday deals are going on all month long. Save up to 45% off site-wide plus an additional 10% off every order right now at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions apply.